What stories did you find interesting, compelling, and surprising, and why?
The stories that I wrote down on my surveys were the stories from the table, and they dealt with healthcare. People think that because we're attorneys that we make a lot of money, and therefore we don't have to worry about healthcare issues. But that's not true. The issues, the stories that they told of not having healthcare and not being able to get healthcare affects everybody. It's universal. It affects rich and poor, Hispanic, Native American, Anglo, African American. It doesn't matter who you are and how much money you make. Everybody's family in some way or another is touched by health care or the lack thereof, including mine. So that's a very personal issue that's very broad. So those are the ones that were most compelling.
If elected, how will you address some of the concerns discussed tonight?
You know what, I think that these forums are very good, and I've been telling people that we need to get out more often. I agree with the people. We need to come into the community. We need to go to the town council meetings, to the city council meetings, to forums like this, to civic organizations. We need to be out and about as elected positions. We shouldn't just come out when we have to be reelected. We should be out there every day. And I've told people that I will go to meetings 2 or 3 times a month throughout the course of my tenure to make sure that I stay in touch and I listen to the people.
What kind of experience do you have working directly with the community represented in tonight's event?
I've been with the district attorney's office for 7 years, and I've worked with the drug court, with the mental health court, and we deal with people that have a lot of issues, just like we were talking about more at my table than in the general forum. But we do a lot of community work. I deal with social organizations, social workers, drug treatment programs. So I deal with a lot of other programs out in the community that all of these people deal with.
If elected, how would you specifically continue to engage in dialogue with the communities represented tonight?
Well, as I said, I think that we need to be out more often than just when it's time to be elected. We need to be out, all of the time, on a regular basis, talking and meeting with our people.
The one story that was the most compelling to me was about the Green Act, about where immigrant students who work really hard, make really good grades, go all the way, graduate from high school, and because of their immigration status, they're not able to continue. And what do they have left? What do they have to look forward to? What is their future like? That really has affected me.
If elected, how would you address some of the concerns discussed tonight?
One of the things I was discussing with Marcela Diaz is that I'm a firm believer in these types of forums, and that I, as a policy maker, an elected official, I don't have all the answers, and I think that it's really important to bring groups of people together, including young people, to offer me some solutions and ideas, because you're the ones that have a lot of different ideas than I have. What I can do is I can listen and I can facilitate.
What kind of experience do you have working directly with the communities represented in tonight's event?
I grew up in Santa Fe. Before I became a lawyer, I was a social worker here for many years, and I worked with adolescents in their substance abuse problems. Then I went on to become a prosecutor, and I've worked with all the issues relating to crime. Then I worked with the city of Santa Fe, and I worked on the living wage case. And now, as the city attorney for the city of Espanola, I'm working on all the issues that affect a municipality. So I have a wide variety of experience to address many of these issues.
If elected, how would you specifically continue to engage in dialogue with the communities represented tonight?
I would ask to be placed on their mailing list and be invited to all other meetings and forums so that I can participate and be well informed and continue my dialogue with everyone involved.